We're going to take some notes on the back. So the notes we're going to start with are, what is an exponent? What is an exponent? And we'll do b to the power of e, okay? B to the power of e. So the exponent, you've seen it before, a big number and a little number raised above it, okay? What is this big number called? Does anyone have an idea? It starts with a B. So base. This is called the base. Base. Okay. And what is the E called? There are actually two names for it. What's that? Exponent is one of those names. The other name, I'm sure you're familiar with, but might not recall. Power.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we have a base, we have a power, we have a base, we have an exponent. Okay. And so, what does it mean to have something being raised to some power? Okay. If we have b squared, well, that equals b times b. If we have b to the fifth, well, now instead of just b times b, it's going to be 5 of them. B times b times b times b times b. So whatever that exponent is, whatever that power is, tells us how many times we're multiplying our base by itself. Okay? That's what this tells us. Okay. This is part of an exponent. One thing we need to know is that all rules we're about to apply, all rules we're about to learn, all rules we're about to learn must have the same base. Must have the same base. If they don't have the same base, then we cannot apply the rule here. Okay? We cannot apply the rule here. Okay. All rules we're about to learn must have the same base. Must have the same base. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and flip this over once you have that done. All right. We'll zoom out. Okay. Yeah, but it was in a little too tight before. Okay. So when adding and subtracting monomials, we're just combining like terms. We don't change the variables. We don't change the exponents. All we're doing, we are adding the coefficients. Okay. So 9x squared y minus 10x squared y. Okay. The variables are the same. The exponents are the same. All we're doing is bringing together our coefficients. What is 9 minus 10? -1. So it's -1 x squared y. Okay. -1 x squared y. Subtract 6w from 8w. So that's going to look like 8w minus 6w. These have the same variables, same exponents. What is 8w minus 6w? 2w. 2w, also known as 4u's, because the w. Okay. So let's take a look at our product rule. The product rule is one we're going to focus on today. We'll go over another one at home tomorrow. Okay. But the product rule is quite simple. If we have x to the power of a times x to the power of b, okay, x to the power of a times x to the power of b, these have the same base, and so x to the power of a times x to the power of b, this is x to the power of a plus b. Okay, x to the power of a times x to the power of b equals x to the power of a plus b. Okay, before we do these examples, we're gonna on the right, we're gonna do a couple examples on the back side. Okay, so product rule. Okay, let's say we have x squared times x cubed. Okay, x squared times x cubed. What does x squared mean? So x times x. Okay, x times x. This is x squared. What does x cubed mean? All right, x times x times x. So that's x cubed. Okay. Well, if x squared is x times x and x cubed is x times x times x. When we multiply these together, this looks a lot like our b to the fifth, doesn't it? Okay. And so that's how this rule works. If we were to expand these exponents out all the way, we would see that there are 5 x's all in a row multiplying by each other. And so our shortcut, our rule tells us x squared times x cubed. We just add these powers and we get x to the fifth. X to the fifth. Okay. Let's try another one. What is y to the 7th times y to the 13th? Oops, y to the 13th. What is y to the 7th times y to the 13th? Y to the 20th. Y to 7 plus 13, that's y to the 20th. Okay. Y to the 20th. Okay, let's go back to the other side. We have h squared times h to the 6th. What's h squared times h to the 6th? H to the 8th. We're adding the powers, h to the 8th. Okay. Let me ask you this. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna zoom way in there. Okay. When we have multiple variables and coefficients, all we're going to do is multiply the a's together, multiply the b's together, and multiply our coefficients together. What is -2 times 7? -14. Okay, so we've dealt with that. What is a squared times a cubed? A to the 5th. A squared times a cubed is a to the 5th. We basically just did that exact example. A to the 5th. So we've dealt with our a's. What is b times b? B squared. Yep. B to the power of 2, b squared. Okay. B squared. So when we're dealing with coefficients and multiple variables, just focus on things that have the same base. The same base. Okay.